And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Esports World Cup EWC 2025 European Closed Qualifier Day number 1. I do apologize for the downtime, but there was a good reason for it. Apparently, there was a mistake on the bracket. Apparently, there was a big slip up, and basically, and I'm sure the Wikipedia admins are going to be, or editors are going to be all over it, but basically, let's switch things over here and have a look at the bracket here. So as you can see, we have the lower bracket. We have SKillous versus Mana, Lambo versus Spirit, Here Marine versus Laser, and Christiana versus Strange. None of that is correct. Apparently the initial seeding for the lower bracket was incorrect, so this is not accurate. So they had to reseed, they had to reconstruct the lower bracket, and we have different matchups. So that's why all the matches were held. That's why we had some downtime. So basically, there was a big issue when it came to seeding, and this is not accurate. This is going to be fixed, and instead we have a different lineup of players. Instead, we have Lambo versus Mana, not versus Spirit. It's Lambo versus Mana. We have SKillous versus Spirit instead as well, and that is going to be our next series. Now, if you were here for Cyril versus Goblin, they're not starting. So just to reiterate, Cell versus Goblin. Goblin did advance on the face against Cyril. They are not starting. They are not going to be here on this stream yet. They're going to be on the main stream after the main stream finishes Reigner versus Showtime. So Reigner versus Showtime is currently ongoing on the main stream, and then they're going to be covering Cell versus Goblin. We might still cover it here, depending on how fast or how slow we are with this series. As we're jumping into our best of 5 TVP in the lower bracket, this is an elimination match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Magnatha, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the Red Terran, who, representing his new team, representing ROC Esports, it is Spirit. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself, representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 5 lower bracket round 2 elimination match. This is it. Their second life has already been spent. If you recall, who did Spirit go down to? He went down to Goblin. He's been beast mode. Goblin, he's been crazy. He's been on a tear, and Goblin did take down Spirit earlier 3-0. Skillous, who did he fall to? Skillous, he went down to Showtime 3-2. Went all the way to the ace match. It was a very close, very intense, very clutch, but in the end, Skillous did fall to Showtime, and now we're here to determine who will continue their run in this tournament and who will not. Oh boy. Here we go. Also, just to reiterate, because there were some people that were asking about the schedule. Yes, this is a 2-day event. Just to reiterate once again, this is a 2-day event. And fun fact, this is the final round of the lower bracket that's being played today. So lower brackets only up to lower bracket round 2. So this is the final matches of the lower bracket that are being played. And of course, we have those 2 final matches being played on the upper bracket as well. I believe the last match on the main stream is going to be Cyril and Goblin. I believe they're going to be the final the final match played today. And then the rest of the bracket will be tomorrow in 24 hours, or just under 24 hours. Just as a heads up. Rigged, yes, rigged. So here we go. We're going to be settling in. We did have our economic opener here out of Spirit. So settling into a faster CC, so ranks expand out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Skillous back at home going for his own Twilight Council opener. Here we go. So yeah, just catching up on what's been happening in the tournaments, what's been happening in the matches. And now we can focus on our series ahead of us here. And again, ideally, by the time we wrap up this series, Reigner versus Showtime would be done, and then we can catch up with Cyril and Goblin. Like, we might be able to catch or cover that match as well. Ideally, I'd like to, because, you know, we covered Goblin's run already. So hopefully we can cover him versus Cyril later on. Until then, though, we have our initial series here. We have our final lower bracket match, at least on our stream. So far, we have our 1-1-1 setup going for Widowmine drop. So far, this is a very standard setup, which is a bit of a change of pace. If you were here for the Gabe versus Goblin series, we saw so much aggression. We saw so many double gas openers. I think in that series, only once did Gabe open up like this, open up economically. I think that was on Tokamak, if I recall correctly. I think that was the only game. Outside of that, we just saw non-stop aggression. Meanwhile, welcome to Maganatha. Maganatha is the largest map in the map pool. You do not get bigger than Maganatha. The map is huge. There are a lot of bases. They're all very spread out. True, they're very spread out, but the rush distance by ground is very long. That's why we're seeing economic builds here by both Spirit and by SKillous. 2-gate blink, 2-gate opener into a third base from SKillous, and again, economic start out of Spirit as well. Following this up with a mine drop. Speaking of, mine drop is moving out. And this is just designed to scout. Just designed to scout, harass a little bit, maybe get like 2 probes at most, but this isn't really about damage. This is about scouting more than anything, to get a read on what's happening, to figure out what's going on. As Spirit, he has yet to really determine the build of choice. He can assume it's 2-gate blink, but has to confirm. Here we go. Thank you for the stream time. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're doing our best. Doing our best to keep up. Likewise, do you have the follow-up scouts into the main, confirming the continued tank production, confirming the continued marine production as well. Ooh, 2-1-1. Oh my god, sorry, I missed this. I missed this. Skillous did not. Skillous did get further back into the main, but this is a 2-1-1 setup here. Early stim, very early stim is on the way. Marine count is building up real hard and real fast. As I'm adding up more marines, and we're going to be moving out with an earlier stim timing. Okay, yeah, my intention. At the same time, Skillous, I mean, he's aware. He did see the ranks. He saw the researching stim. He's going to be active. He's going to be waiting here to delay any kind of move out. Meanwhile, the mine drop is still being kept back. We're waiting for the opportune moment. Waiting for the moment to strike. Here we go. Meanwhile, here comes the drop. As Skillous is distracted, drop into the main. So far, we do see Spirit is going to be deflected. Doesn't get any damage yet. Gets 1 probe. 1 probe so far. Liberated into the third base. Drop into the natural. Tri-pronged attack here from Spirit. At the same time, he breaks out as well. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. And so far, 10 probes. 10 probes are going to be going down. We just see Spirit catching out the Stalkers. They do blink away. And Spirit is committed. He does break out. He does push. A stim is not yet done. But takes out another Stalker. And almost another. Almost another Stalker. So far, solid damage. And Spirit making his way towards the third. Does scan, does see the charge lots. Ooh, can he push into this? That is 3 tanks. Does siege. But nice blink. He does blink forward. Takes out 1, 2, 3 tanks are all going to go down. Yeah, nice clean up here from Skillous. He shuts down the tanks. He shuts down the army. SM finishing up a little bit too late. And Spirit has to get the hell out of here. Skillous, he did keep up. Likewise, at the same time, warping into the main. Another tank on the fall. And Spirit is falling apart. Spirit is falling apart, losing far too much, far too quickly. As they'll say, bust into the main base. SCVs are going down, and Skillous is going for the natural. And there are no tanks. 0 tanks, 0 bunkers. Boys are being pulled. Again, there's no defensive setup here because Spirit, he was meant to be the aggressor. He was meant to have map control, and he doesn't. He doesn't have it. 15 SCV kills, and just like that, Skillous, he tears his opponent apart. He does overwhelm. He's snowballing out of control. And Spirit, he cannot keep up. GG, and Skillous, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. We'll take the first game. We'll take a lead in the series. Now, as a reminder, this is a best of 5. Of course, this is a best of 5. We have plenty more games to come, plenty more games ahead of us. Let's go. Let us go. So we're loading into that second game. I'm not actually certain as to what every matchup is in the lower bracket outside of 2. Like, I know it's Mana versus Lambo and Skillous versus Spirit. Not too familiar with the other combination of players, but I'm sure the computer will be updated soon. So we are setting up. and getting ready for game 2. And again, it was impressive what Spirit was trying to piece together. Again, he had like the mine drop in the main, mine drop at the natural, Liberator into the third base, and the main army pushing out. Like there was a lot happening at once, but SKillous for the most part, he was beating out pros, but he was able to maintain his army, able to shut down the tank push. The tanks themselves were quite exposed. Yes, there were 3 tanks, but there weren't that many Marines to support those tanks. And from there, we did see SKillous breaking through. And with that, GG well played. We're now getting ready for that second game. Go. Oh, as game 2 is going to be on ley lines. Now, depending on how fast the series is, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for a game 4. I'm hoping for a game 5. But we might be able to catch the tail end of another one of these lower bracket matches as well before Cyril versus Goblin. Might be able to. We'll see. So here we go. You can hear the beeps. We are loading in. Tanks so bad TVP. Tanks, they have their place in the early game, but you can see how difficult it is to really make use of them against charge, right? Like with a good amount of charge lots, with a solid gateway composition, you can shut them down quite hard. Like tanks, they're more of a supportive unit than like a core unit in a sense. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into game 2, and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the red Terran representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. We go. Hello, Spirit. What's going on? Okay, we're setting up here, going for the Rax Expand. I would imagine going for an economic opener. We'll keep an eye on Spirit. Likewise, we do see a SKillous, likewise setting up and moving out across map with his own Probe Scout. Here we go. Oh, thank you for the update. Christiana versus the Laser and Strange versus Gabe. There you go. Gracias. Beautiful. As the probe does get across the map. To get across. And likewise, going to be delaying the CC. Spirit, who was hoping for a more economic start here, but the CC is going to be delayed by a couple of seconds, getting up to 470, 480, and almost 500 minerals before throwing down the CC. So a nice delay here from SKillous. Didn't commit to a pylon block or anything like that, but nice delay nonetheless. Behind this, again, just an economic opener out of Spirit, once again going for a Rax Expand. And again, this is just a different approach and a different change of pace compared to Gabe, right? Gabe, he was so aggressive. As we mentioned before, just non-stop double gas openers. I understand going for an economic start on Maganatha because how large it is. Here doing so again as well. Doing so once again. Safety bunker on the low grounds, and we'll see what SKillous goes for this time. Last game, he went 2 gate blink into a third base. We'll see if he's as greedy here or if he's a little bit safer, if he goes for an extra gateway, if he goes for a robo as well before expanding, if he takes his gases. For now, Twilight Council, which is standard. Twilight Council opener. It is a little bit more rarer to see Stargate play nowadays. I do think that there's a place for Stargate play on some of the larger maps, but it is very difficult to get away with that. In general, Stargate openers used to be the meta, right? A couple of years ago. Not even that, like 2023. Even early 2024, like Stargate openers and Stargate play was still prevalent, especially Phoenix Colossus, of course, the infamous composition, which was meta for many, many years. But again, that's kind of fallen by the wayside nowadays. Nowadays, Terran players have gotten much more better and stronger at punishing that play. Oh, as we have rushed, Jesus, 363 racks. Oh my, Björn, is that you? To finish that thought, Terran players have gotten a lot better at punishing it. So, I mean, that's why we've seen a prevalence and a rise in even 2-base all-ins and 2-base play in general from Terran. especially Korean Terran players as well. So Stargate openers have fallen by the wayside, as they can be quite risky to get away with. Meanwhile, we are going for the greediest build you can go for. Beyond is quite fond of this on certain maps, and Spirit, he's willing to do the same. Again, that's going to be ranks into third TC, followed by second and third ranks as well. So very greedy build, and SKillous does confirm. Now, with this kind of build, with this kind of playstyle, tank production is going to be very late. It's going to be very delayed. We were talking about tanks earlier. Tanks, they have their place defensively early on, especially against Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, that's not Blink. We're going to charge. Okay, we're popping off in every direction right now. Okay, so first things first, Spirit is being very greedy. Very greedy, cutting a lot of corners, and SKillous, I don't know if I'm too fond of the charge opener. Like, if you commit into 4-gate blink, you can punish this because there are no tanks to defend. Like, you can shut down a Terran player hard with committed blink stalker play. Going into charge typically is designed to hard counter tank pushes. We spoke earlier about, I mean, we even saw that previous tank push. Like, these early charge based openers, they can completely shut down tank based play early on. We'll see how SKillous will approach this, as he's getting a third. He's getting his own third base. Hallucination goes in, does rescout. Spirit likewise being active across the map. I'm loving this move out. Again, he can try to slip into that mineral line with Stim. Stim is almost done. We'll see what he can accomplish. We shall see. Players are still building up. Likewise, charge ults are amassing. You can see SKillous getting ready for a drop across the map. But yeah, it's going to be a more unique setup here, and I'm curious how this dynamic unfolds. As Stim is now done. Stim is complete. Spirit, he can try to go for that run by now. At the same time, drop into the main. Meanwhile, we're just going mass racks, mass bio. 2 more Raxes. Reactored Widowmine production. Spirit just doubling down. Meanwhile, Dark Shrine on the way. Okay. With this, we have access to Archons, DTs, of course. I mean, it's triple CC, so there's going to be plenty of energy for scans. Plenty of energy. So Prism is going to be zoned back. Prism is going to be zoned away. Cells are building up. Oh! And the Prism does fall. Brutal pickoff. Prism goes down. SKillous breaking out. Headed towards the bases. Spirit is ready. He's got his Widow Mines. He's back here at the natural. Does evacuate the third. And SKillous, he can't really engage into this choke point. Can't engage me. Well, there's that run by. Yeah, the Marines, they do go in. A very patient play at a Spirit. He does pull the trigger. Takes down 8 probes. 8 workers do go down. SKillous on the chase. He will clean this up as we target down as many probes as possible, getting up to 9. Getting to 10. 10 probe kills. Nice damage here from Spirit. SKillous, he raced everything back home. Did deny the third, but that's still 10 probe kills. And Spirit is secure. And this is why I was a little bit iffy about the charge build here. Like, these Zealots, what can they really accomplish? As long as Spirit stays defensively, he's fine. Zealots, that is, we spoke earlier about tank pushes or just aggressive builds and aggressive styles. Chargers can shut them down. But against a defensive player, they can't really do much. So this charge timing doesn't really achieve anything. SKillous, he pulls away. Now working towards Colossus, working towards Blink. Blink is now done. And I'm favoring Spirit here. Spirit, he got away with his economic build. He got away with his third base. Now he's massing up his army. He's got plenty of mines. He's got a minefield set up. Ghost Academy's on the way. And again, this charge build was lackluster. Especially considering that SKillous, he scattered early on. Like, he saw the third CC. Meanwhile, SKillous claiming another base. Going for the fourth. Fourth base is on the way. Now, finally, Spirit, he does move out. Behind this, bunkers are ready. Army gets spotted. And SKillous, can he engage here? I mean, it's going to come down to the mine shots. How good are they going to be? Oh, my God. Widow Mines, nice on Burrow. One shot goes off. There's still 5 shots left. Yeah, and there's no saving this 4th base. Spirit, he will just snowball out of control. Drop into the natural. 4th base goes down. Skills being pulled apart. At the same time, they also drop into the natural base of Spirit. How about this being dealt with? Spirit, he does defend, and now dropping into the main. It does drop in. We'll lose 11 SEs back at home. Once again, just crippling the economy. Going for the tech as well. Going for the main. Yeah, the main nexus is going to fall. Colossus coming in to reinforce. But the base still does crumble. And he wants a Colossus. He wants it. Oh, can he get it? He can, and he barely will. Snipes the Colossus, picks up, pulls away. Remember, limited blink stalkers. Zelsa can't chase down the Medivacs, and Spirit behind this still miles ahead. He's got the army, he's got the economy, 4 CCs on the way. Ghost production has begun. He's got Vikings as well, just in case. I mean, SKillous, he has no Colossus to begin with. Just a really, really rough mid-game here for SKillous. And again, like the opener was lackluster. It wasn't able to achieve too much. Wasn't able to punish. And now from here comes Spirit. He's coming out. He's looking to reinforce. He is spotted. And sure, SKillous, he's aware of the army, but can he do anything about it? I'm not so sure he can. Yeah, again, the charges, they just cannot engage. Not into EMPs. The ghosts have arrived. EMPs are ready. That's EMP here on the Archon. Base goes down once again. SKillous just cannot expand. He can't expand. He can't build up. Does have the one Colossus, but there are plenty of Vikings. And we're waiting for... Oh, we don't quite have another EMP. But nice kiting. Does kite well. Vikings, they go straight for the Colossus. They go straight in. Yeah, and alas, without a Colossus. I mean, there's still plenty of charge lots that I guess we can try to make use of, but nice start stepping here from a Spirit. He pulls back, makes use of the choke point. Zelsa don't get the surround they're looking for. With the help of the Stalkers, though. SKillous, he's holding. He's holding on. Cleans this up. But we're still rallying, Papi. There's still just so much Terran. There's too much Terran. Oh, mine shots going up. Mine shots are connecting. And SKillous is on his last legs here. He has no splash. He has a Colossus. He has one Colossus. That's all his splash damage. No Storm, no Disruptors, no nothing else. EMP does connect with the Stalkers. And once again, nice, very nice force fields. Looking down the army, but GG gets caught. It's just too much to handle. And Spirit, he will snowball out of control. He will tie the series 1-1. We have a back and forth. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. We are setting up. We are settling in. Whew. But again, a really solid game there by Spirits. Again, being quite greedy when it came to his build, going 3 CC, 3 ranks. Very greedy build there by Spirits. And again, SKillous, he wasn't quite able to punish it. Going into charge was also an interesting decision, which didn't really bear fruit, right? We saw that the initial charge timing didn't really accomplish anything. We saw that Spirit, he was being very defensive to begin with his army, with his marines, with his widow mines, more importantly. So yeah, with that, SKillous, he couldn't really touch the economy of Spirit. Couldn't really do much about it. And with that Spirit, he just snowballed out of control, just pulling skills apart. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth. We have a series. Let's go. We have a back and forth. We're now getting into game number 3. Game 3 is going to be on Tokamak. Oh boy. Catching up with the chat. Here we go. Go. Top 2 qualify. Yes, yes. Top 2 do qualify from this qualifier. We get 2 players from the European region. I'm sure Sol and Reina will take the top 2 spots. I mean, I would say that Sol and Reina are favored, but I can definitely see some of these other players, of course, threatening them, 100%. Players like, you know, your Showtimes, your Hero Marines, your SKillous, your Spirits. Yo, Goblin, he's big. you can't count him out. I mean, he's looking like a beast in PvT, but we'll see how he looks in PvZ. We'll get there. I think the mainstream, they're starting with Goblin versus Serral soon. If not already began. Yeah, they're starting soon. So like, on paper, like sure, like Reina and Serral are like maybe the highest rated players here. But I want to believe that they can be threatened. I mean, hey, you know, Lambo was able to take a map off of Reina and make a series out of that. Well, we'll see what happens. So best of luck to all players involved, of course. Best of luck. As is being stated in the chat as well, yes, the Korean Closed Qualifier is going to be tomorrow as well, and the May Mayhem. We have 3 more events over the next 24 hours. It's going to be a lot of StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft. And of course, we'll be there for it. We'll be there for the Korean Qualifier. We'll be there for the European Qualifier. And we'll be there for the May Mayhem as well. We'll be there. Oh boy. It's big game. True, true. I think I saw a pun in the chat earlier. Spirit has the soul of a champion. I see what you did there. Goblin. Beginning the upset. Exactly, exactly. Let's go. For those who are curious, the players, they did ask for a break. So that's why we're just chilling. They asked for a moment. It's all good. Wonder who's observing these games. It does say on our overlays. It does say on our overlays. Sometimes Kuro's observing, sometimes I'm observing. Like, just does depend. But we do list it there whenever we have. Or sometimes if we have the clean feed of Indies observing, we do list it there as well. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We are tied up 1-1, and we're here to determine who will take a lead in the series. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is SKillous. Here we go. The year of Goblin, exactly. Let's go. Let's go. Hello, Spirit. As he does skirt around the edge of the map. Interesting. For the first time this series, does move out with the SCV, and he's setting up for the eBay block. Let's go. So cheeky start here from Spirit. I do like this just because it's something that hasn't revealed so far in the series, so it's something that I'm sure is not in the back of Skills or in the forefront of Skills' mind. EB gets thrown down, but despite that, Skills does scout, does check, and you can respond. Boys are being pulled. Now, the purpose of this opener, the purpose of this start out of Spirit is to delay the expansion to get enough progression on the eBay to force the unnatural natural. But as we can see, because of the early scout from Skillous, he pulls down 5 probes, he will focus us down, and Skills will expand. He will not be forced to make a Zealot. He will not be forced to expand at the 3rd location. So nice setup here from Skillous. Nice scout, nice reaction, nice defense. Here we go. Meanwhile, back at home, of course, Spirit, his own CC is going to be delayed. Skills is here to be in position to block. So he does punish Spirit up to 440 minerals before throwing down the CC. So it does delay by a couple of seconds. Again, Skills just being as annoying as possible. And now we're settling in. And welcome one all to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps and more defensive maps in the map pool. Despite that, we have seen some quirky builds so far, and we'll see the direction that Spirit takes us in. I wouldn't be opposed to I was gonna say I wouldn't be opposed to seeing another 3cc build, but you don't want to do that 2 games in a row, right? Like, that's something they do once in the series. Remember, last game it was 3cc 3 racks. This time it is a racks expand into a factory, not going 3cc this time. So much more standard follow-up out of Spirit. Much more standard. From here, we are just settling in, calming down, going for the 1-1-1 back at home. Starport is on the way. We'll keep an eye on the add-ons to see if we do something cheeky, like head into Cyclone production, tank production, or Banshee production. We'll see the direction that Spirit does take us in. Back at home, once again, we do have Charge on the way. Now, what I will say is that this should be a little bit better this time. As a reminder, the reason why Charge went so poorly last game for SKillous is partly because Spirit went 3cc3 racks. Like, he was not going for a tank heavy style, he was being more defensive, more greedy, and SKillous, he wasn't really able to get much damage done. Here, coming into Tokamak, we should be seeing a much more standard setup out of Spirit, and now there's going to be a higher chance for this charge timing to actually deal damage. The downside, of course, lay Blink against Cloak Banshee. That's terrifying. Now, we do see Hallucination Scout does confirm the research on the tech lab, does confirm the Cloak Banshee on the way. So SKillous, he's aware. And even though he won't have Blink to defend, he will still have Vanilla Stalkers, and they can still hold their own. Likewise, Spirit, he knows who got scouted. He knows that he has been seen. We'll see if he cancels Cloak, or if he just commits anyway. The Reaper does go down. Once again, another scout. Once again, confirming that Cloak was not cancelled. Does confirm. Getting our 3-1-1 setup. Banshee does move out. And SKillous, he should just be getting ready. Just getting ready back at home. Likewise, as we were notified by the chat that Cyril vs. Goblin did begin already, it is possible that this might be the final series that we cast today. Again, depending on how long and how short things are, we might be able to catch one more, but we're kind of nearing the end of the broadcast already here. And it's a nice change of pace. For those that are curious, for those that were here yesterday, we casted the, we casted everything, but we casted the Americas qualifier. Mate, that was like I think that lasted almost 8 hours. I think we called it like just under 7 hours because I had to sleep to wake up for this. I had to sleep to wake up for the Korean qualifier, so we weren't able to cast the grand finals. But that was a long broadcast. Like that was insane. This is like half that length. I mean, they are cutting they're cutting this into 2 days, to be fair. So it makes sense that this would be half the length of the America's broadcast. But I appreciate it when it comes to allowing us to sleep a little bit. It's nice. I appreciate it. Meanwhile, the Banshees are deflected. Cloak did finish, but alas, if you recall, SKillous, I mean, he saw everything, right? He saw the Banshees, he saw the Cloak, he rescouted to confirm the Cloak, and with that, the Banshees, they don't really achieve much of anything. Blink is now on the way, SKillous just building up. The initial charge timing, once again, didn't really achieve too much. As we mentioned before, the early charge timing can really do well against 2-base all-ins and 2-base play, but that's really not what Spirit has been going for. So the early charge hasn't really accomplished much, either in Game 2 or Game 3. You know what? Double drop into the main. Observer does confirm. Stalker's in position. Drops are deflected. Same time, Banshees into the third base, and the pros are going down. They can one-shot. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probe kills. Ay. Stalker's not quite in position. Blink did just finish. That's going to be 8 workers going down. Nice damage here from Spirit. Getting up to 8 probes. See the Mass Zealot staring down the drops. As both Banshees do fall, but hey, they dealt some damage here. 8 probes, not bad. Ideally, you do want a little bit more. You want to preserve the Banshees, but wasn't bad at all. Meanwhile, more drops are moving out. We have the Ghost Academy on the way. But the 3rd CC is done. So Spirit, he's expanding. He's going to claim his 3rd. Building up, taking up into Ghosts. SKillous, meanwhile, is working towards his 4-base setup. Again, it can be quite difficult to be overly aggressive on this map, so SKillous is just building up, getting his 4th, getting into Colossus. So far, Spirit economically is holding his own. Wouldn't mind drop here into the 3rd. Spirit's in position. Sorry, SKillous in position. As we commit into the drop. He does commit. Oh, 2 medivacs go down. A couple units did fail to unload in time. And this is quite committed, and this is not going to work out. He has to get the hell out of here. There's not enough room. Does abandon some Marines. Does abandon some Marauders. This was not it. Yeah, the drop does fail. Does hold in space. SKillous shuts it down. Meanwhile, Mind Drop once again. Oh, finding damage. 4 probes. Not bad. Gets 4 workers, but SKillous, he defends. He defends against the main drop and the main army. Spirit, he did overextend. Overly aggressive. SKillous now getting map control. He's hunting down those medevacs. Oh no! And he finds them! Does he have a blink? Soon he will. Ooh, gets 1 medevac, gets the other. Barely not. Whew, but regardless, a nice catch here from SKillous. Yeah, he punishes Spirit. Spirit, he's trapped. 1 more Stalker shot and this medevac is going to go down. Meanwhile, that Mind Drop, once again. Very persistent. Very persistent. Oh, the retargeting. Let's go. Does retargets. Gets 1 more probe. But SKillous, the main army, does not back off. Okay, what do we have to work with? We have 2 Colossus, a solid amount of charge lots, decent amount of Stalkers as well. He's got a +1. He's moving in. And Spirit is on siege. He's unburrowed. Zealots, they dive in. The mine shots. Oh my god, brutal connections. Zealots are going to be melting. Marauders are coming from behind. And oh my god, SKillous is being shot down here. The Marauders, they trade well, but we have more Zealots coming in, and it looks like SKillous, he does have enough. The Zealots are coming in time to save the Stalkers at least, but he cannot break this position. That's not going to happen. Spirit holds. And again, those mine shots were brutal. He shut down so many Zealots there. 20 Zealots went down. The Colossus and 11 Stalkers. So you can see they're a much more efficient fight for Spirit. And SKillous, he has to back off. Has to calm down, has to back up. Does pull away. Here we go. SKillous does pull away. Likewise, Spirit now claiming his 4th. Again, like the defense here was solid from Spirit. Now he's able to expand and able to max out. So both armies are in the midst of maxing. Again, we're getting into a longer game state. We actually haven't experienced this, actually. If you've been tuning into the broadcast so far, especially when it comes to Gabe versus Goblin and Gabe versus Geralt, we had a lot of mid-game aggression. Rarely did we ever see both players max out. And that's where we're headed. We're headed into a longer game state. Into maxed out armies. SKillous moving in. He's got 3 Colossus. The Viking count isn't too high. Only 5 Vikings. Never goes up. Just owns. SKillous pulls away. 2nd robe is in production for more disruptors. So far we're keeping up. Now, if you recall earlier, we spoke about some of the features of this map and how you can be very secure on 4 bases. That is true. We are secure on 4 bases, but SKillous has map control. So he gets a 5th, 6th, and 7th. He's mass expanding with map control. Meanwhile, Spirit, he will have a hard time at taking a 5th base because he's lacking that map control. The win condition for SKillous here is deny the 5th. Just contain the Terran, pick up some key units, and rotate and just perpetually keep the Terran on 4 bases. Just keep them contained. Never goes up. Ooh, does pick away the army. And we do see SKillous going for the dive. Oof. Has to respect the minefield though. Yeah, respects the minefield. SKillous pulls away. And this kind of game state, like, you can see what Protoss players can get away with if they do have map control. They just mass expand. This is also why Terrans have been more aggressive recently, because this game state, it's not the most appealing, is maybe the best way of putting it. It's not the most exciting thing to be stuck at home like this, right? So that's why we've seen a rise of all-ins and a rise of like aggression from the side of Terran, and they've had a lot of success with it. To be fair, a lot of success with 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins. Now, what I will say coming into this is that the Terran player or Spirit, he will have the more efficient army, and he is soon to expand. Now, SKillous cannot let this happen. He cannot let this expansion get up and running. Not freely. He has to fight for it. Meanwhile, getting on top of the ghosts. Ooh, the ghosts do survive. Nice snipes. Likewise, that Viking count now up to 10. Yeah, from 5 up to 10. Plenty of Vikings. Drop towards left-hand side. Ooh, going for the expansion. This Nexus is going to go down. So nice distraction here from Spirit. He will claim the base. And Spirit, he is looking to expand. We'll see if he can. Again, this 5th base is going to be a big moment for Spirit. And again, SKillous cannot let this get up and running. There we go, does blink in. There we go, top. CC down to half HP. Command Center's getting low. Oh, one more volley, and it's going to go down. Massive pickup, takes out the 5th. SKillous, he will lose his 7th. Which is fine, he can afford to lose a base. Meanwhile, Spirit going for the gold. Going for the hybrid expansion. Does recall to defend. SKillous rotating over. Blink, oh, he blinks in! Oh my god! Blinks into the minefield. Mine shots, they go up, the Colossus, they go down. Vikings, they have their way with the air army. Novas, they do not connect. As SKillous, he will lose every single Colossus. Vikings, they land. SKillous, he will zone away. But that was a better fight for Spirit. Spirit, he shut down most of the high-tech units. 2 disruptors to survive. Oh no! He is a idol! Gets one, gets both! Ay, losing every single disruptor and Colossus. So better engage your Spirit. He does claim the 5th, or at least he's trying to get it up and running. Ooh. SKillous panicking a little bit. Does get full medevac. Oh, gets both. Both medics go down. Nice force field. Spirit overextending. He's overstimmed. Yeah, he's overstimmed. Gets to get the hell out of here. SKillous gaining some momentum. SKillous, he's rotating around. He gets an SCV. Gets one. So far, I mean, he's only got to 1 disruptor. He has to rebuild from scratch. 1 disruptor, 1 Colossus. Going for a big Zealot run by. Does hit the 3rd. At the same time, pushing forward, threading the 5th. Spirit, he's keeping up. He does evacuate the 3rd base. He abandons the SCV, or he does evacuate the SCVs, abandons the base. Dragging the army into a minefield. But just the 1 Widow Mine. And SKillous, he's trading well. He's trading well. Gets on top of the Marauders. Takes down the Marines. Snipes the Vikings. From here, he pulls away. Didn't kill many workers, though. Didn't kill many SCVs. So again, good reactions from Spirit, but SKillous, he will reinforce. He wants that base. Ooh. Does want that expansion. There we go, getting into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. Main fight also occurring. Once again, the Colossus falls. Still very back and forth. SKillous, sure, he does deny the 3rd. But he needs that 5th. And the main army Spirit is standing strong so far. Meanwhile, we're being 17 Zealots at a time. Jesus. And Zealots, they're coming in. They're coming into the natural, catching reinforcements. This is getting out of hand. Spirit, he has to respond to this. He has to react. He's being forced back to his main. At the same time, SKillous is moving in. He wants that mineral line. Does get in. SCVs are going down. Colossus stuck with the gas geyser. Not ideal. Oh, the Stalkers are being targeted. Stalkers also targeted down, but there it is. 15, 16 SCV kills. Finally, the damage has been looking for. He overwhelms the economy. And SKillous, he is doing it. And remember, behind this, he's on 7 bases. He's on 8 bases even. Getting an 8th base. SKillous, he can afford these trades. Even though you could argue that, I mean, I would say the Spirit, he has been taking more efficient fights. SKillous can afford it. He can afford it. As he rebuilds, remaxes. He's on a 37 Zealots. Almost purely Zealot. He's got 9 Stalkers and 1 Colossus. There we go, going for another big warp in. Catching out the ghosts. Just pulling the Spirits apart. He has broken the back of Spirits. Has broken the defenses. Oh, denied entry into the main. Going for the Ghost Academy. Going for the Academy. Spirits, he will break through all those Zealots, but he doesn't quite get on top of the Stalkers. Barely not. And Zealots, they come in from behind. He comes in for a surround. And SKillous, he's collapsing on the main army. Let's go. Gets into the mineral line. And he overruns. He overruns. He overwhelms. Spirit just barely not enough here. Again, he was just pulled apart between his bases. Eventually, the Zealot army is here at the 3rd base. They did overrun. He's taking every base on the map. Ay, ay, ay. Getting up to 10 bases. He's crazy. It's crazy. See, now he needs to take this base from the other side. That's the only one missing. And this expansion, of course, as well. 2 bases left. Can he claim them before the end of the game? Oh, no. And again, it's just so difficult as a Terran player to break out from this contain. We saw the drop earlier, which killed the base, that's true, but it's not like Spirit has the spare supply to go for drop play. There's a rotation, takes down the expansion, takes down both CCs. And we're going for the, like, pseudo base trade? I don't know, we race back home. Takes down another expansion. Heading into the natural. EMP's a pop off. Gets a Colossus. I mean, Spirit still has a terrifying main army. Like, army supply wise, they're quite comparable to each other. The problem is, of course, is that skills can trade and remax. Ooh, as Colossus wipes up brutal. No more Vikings. 1 Colossus goes down, but the trades are insane here. So much fire just melts before the Colossus. Yeah, and Spirit, he's running out of steam. Running out of money. He's down to, what, 4 patches left at the new 3rd base. What was once the 4th. There's 1 patch here at the natural. Gases are mined out. SKillous, I know he's tempted to take more bases. Tempted, Patton, tempted. Oh, no. And here we go. Likewise, Spirit, he does a strike here at bottom right. Meanwhile, SKillous just going for the kill, going for the main. He's going for the threat at this point. Chargel's already in the main base, going for a massive warp in. And again, SKillous, he can afford to lose bases. GG gets called, and SKillous, he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, this shows kind of the potential of what a Protoss player can get away with on some of these larger, more macro maps. As SKillous, he was able to gain map control and just overwhelm them there. And again, as you mentioned previously, like, this is one of the reasons why a lot of Terran players have opted to go for more aggressive builds and aggressive styles. We saw that at a Gabe, right? If you recall, a lot of double gas openers into 2-base play and 2-base committed builds to end the game early and to avoid this kind of game state. Not saying that Terran players can't fight back in this game state. They totally can, but again, it's not the not the most fun to be stuck defending at home and stuck fortifying yourself before breaking out. So with that, GG, well played. I would also say as well that the map was favoring SKillous. Winding it back, if we like getting into this kind of game state is more difficult on smaller maps like Ultra Love. Actually, nah, Ultra Love is you can get away with this. It's going to be a little bit more difficult on maps like Persephone, on maps like Torches as well, on maps like there's another one that comes to mind. Ley lines even, just because one, the base count is more limited, there are less bases, but also on top of that, because the map is so much smaller, you can counterattack that much faster as well. In regards to Spirit going for drop play and going for any kind of move outs, they do hit faster, they do hit harder. It's on these larger maps like Tokamak, Maganatha comes to mind as well, and even Incorporeal, those stream maps come to mind, where if you gain map control, you can just mass expand and just take all the bases. It's just crazy. But again, that kind of style is stronger on a map like Tokamak. But here we go, GG. With that, GG well played. With that, we are now getting ready here for our next game. And SKillous, he's up 2-1. And Onomas, one more game is all he needs. All he needs to claim the series to wrap up the lower brackets. I wonder how you're supposed to play against this. Only Clem seems to be able to beat it consistently. It's a couple different things. Like if you recall, like Spirit, he was doing quite well, like coming into that kind of late game scenario when it came to claiming his 5th base. But I say that he did lose the CC while trying to expand. But it's about turtling up in such a way. It's about getting your 5th base up and running. It's about having the freedom to be able to move out with some drop play. If you remember, coming into like halfway through that game, Spirit did send a drop out towards top left and he killed a base, right? He killed an expansion, but we didn't really see much more than that. Like there weren't many more other drops that Spirit was able to sneak out to get across the map, and that's a part of that, right? To be able to force away some of the attention of your opponents, because your opponent's bases are so spread thin, it's very difficult to actually preserve those bases and those expansions. So being able to be active with drops is going to be crucial there, alongside heavily fortifying back at home. Not just getting into, your SimCity, but getting into Liberators, getting into Widow Mines, getting into tanks, and just being more defensive, more turtley here. It's a different kind of approach. And then eventually you slowly get a 5th, you slowly get a 6th base, and then you break out, right? Then you're maxed out, you wait for your opponent to take a bad fight, then you can break out, take a base, and yeah, it's just a very different, just a slower approach. I would say that Spirit is probably built for that sort of thing. Spirit, he's very much so known for slowing the game down and having longer game states, but here he did have a bit of a harder time against SKillous, for sure. For sure. I would say that Cure was also decent at it as well. I say was, and I emphasize was, because again, if you've been watching Cure as of late, during GSL and during DreamHack, and basically for the past maybe over like month and a half, Cure, he has fallen to the dark side, and Cure, he does nothing but 2-base all in now. Like at GSL, during the entirety of the season of GSL, he did nothing but 2-base all in TVP. Like Cure, he's had enough. He's like, I'm done. I'm good, baby. I'm good. I'm gonna just embrace the ape. But players like Claire, players like Bjorn, he's also not as aggressive as Cure and Maru nowadays. Like Bjorn, he's more willing to play at a longer game. I would say more so than Cure now, which is kind of weird to say, but true. But looks like our players, they do need a moment. Here, which I don't blame them. Again, we're on match points, so we're just taking a breath, just calming down. Here we go. Lib range and +2. Yeah, we did mention like Liberators, right? Like we mentioned like being very turtley, with your SimCity, with your Liberators, with your tank lines. Like it's a different approach. And then slowly, like breaking out and expanding. Oh, but here we go. Looks like we still need a couple more minutes here. Meanwhile, I guess because we have some downtime, we may as well catch up a little bit here on the brackets. I'm assuming that Wikipedia has since been fixed. Let's catch up. As do we have any updates here? Nope. Okay, Mana, okay, so we do have some updates in low brackets. So first things first, Rainer takes on Showtime 3-0. That was over on the mainstream, of course. That was taking place over the mainstream instead. Meanwhile, Lambo takes on Mana 3-1. Mana is now out of the qualifiers, now out of the initial EWC European qualifier. Meanwhile, we have our series, Skills versus Spirits. It is currently leading in favor of Skillous 2-1, but we could go all the way to the ace match. Meanwhile, Gabe versus Strange currently mid-series, and Christiana versus a Laser currently mid-series as well. So we still have some other matches ongoing. Meanwhile, scrolling up, Cell versus Goblin currently 2-0, as was stated in the chat earlier. This is covered by the mainstream, and I believe this is the final series for the mainstream. So they're going to be wrapping up with Cell versus Goblin, and we might be able to catch some of these other two matches depending on how fast or how slow some of these series are. So we might have a little bit more after this series, but it depends. I mean, because this series can still go to the ace match 100%. We can still go all the way. We can still go the distance to game 5 as we are getting into our next game. Let's go. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Protoss player. We have the Team Liquid Protoss leading the series 2-1, one game away from advancing on into the next round. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Terran player. We have the blue Terran down in the series. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match and to bring us all the way to game 5. The pressure is on. It is Spirit. Here we go. As once again, just like last game, he's moving out with the first SCV, most likely to set up for the eBay block. Yeah, you can see the rally. He will avoid the initial probe scouts and sneak up on the natural. Here we go. Now, last game we saw that Skills was able to shut this down. He had a really strong, really swift reaction to this to be able to deny the eBay. Block does come in. As Skillous, he does move down to low ground. He will scout this, and he can react in time. Okay, getting of the SCV. Boys are being pulled. Again, 5 SCVs in total. But the progression this time is going to be, I mean, there's going to be a lot more progression this time, a lot more HP on the eBay. Up to half HP. Oh, he wants more. Oh, SCV does come in. Gets a little bit more HP, a little bit more progression. Oh, he goes back in. Spirit, you're an animal. Oh, God. Up, up. Whatever you can get. Behind this opening up, Reaper setting up his own CC on the low ground. There's a cancellation, and Skillous, he can now expand. And again, there was a nice delay here. Lost mining time for the probes. Some damage was dealt. CC has been thrown down. Skillous confirms. And the game will continue from here. And welcome one and all to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is a map of extremes. It's a bit of a weird one, where the rush distance by ground is quite short. So because of that, we often see a lot of all-ins. We see a lot of all-ins on Ultra Love, just because the rush distance by ground is short. Likewise, there is the same plane of elevation here pushing in towards the third base, so there's no like high ground advantage. Likewise, no high ground advantage here at the linear third. Likewise, you can also push in between the bases straight into the natural as well, and kind of wedge yourself in between the bases and make it awkward for your opponent to engage. So we see a lot of all-ins on 2 bases and like 2.5 and 3 bases as well. But if we can get past that kind of game state, if we can get up to a 4-base setup, we often see a lot of late game on Ultra Love. And the reason for this is because then the other aspects of the map come into play, specifically the features in the center. We have these very narrow bridges, and because of that, imagine 2 armies facing off. How do you get past the bridge onto the other side without taking a brutal fight? Without going through this choke point? Same here as well. We have a lot of choke points. We have a lot of high ground or elevated areas here on the left, here on the right as well. So if you're able to keep up with the movement of your opponents, referring to like the mid game when we have like substantial armies, then it's really hard to break through. It's really hard to get past, and because of that, we often do see split map scenarios where you just cut the map in half and we have maxed out armies. So we often see like 2 sides of the extremes, like all-ins or like more late game play. But we'll see how we get there. Once again, charge. Like, SKillous, he's been very fond of this for the past 3 games. Except for game 1, he has been going for charge-based openers. And again, this feels like almost like a ladder build. At least from what I can tell. Maybe someone else can maybe bring something else up. But we spoke earlier, like the strength of a charge-based opener. We saw this a lot from Hero in his series against Cure. Is that this is designed to hard counter, I want to say, like 2 base all-ins. If Spirit were to go for a heavy committed tank push, then with the early charge, you just shut it down. But if your opponent is being more macro, if they're being more passive, more defensive, if they're just building up and securing themselves, like we have seen for the past 2 games out of Spirit, then the early charge timing doesn't really do anything. And you forego Blink, where with Blink you can harass, you can poke in, you can contain, you can pick off some medevacs or pick off some Marines, pick off some SCVs, and keep the Terran player busy at home. With charge, especially if they aren't being aggressive, then you don't really accomplish much with it. So it feels kind of weird. Specifically to play this against Spirit, who's known for being more macro, right? Spirit's not known for his aggression. So I say ladder build. This feels just really safe more than anything. Now we're taking up into the Bay, getting the 3rd base, of course, working up towards Colossus. So maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. It just feels like really safe play here by SKillous. Obviously has the potential to be aggressive and to move out with charge lots, but if your opponent's not being active, then they're going to be okay. From here, we have our 3-1-1 setup. Did we make any tanks? 0. Oh my god. Sorry, okay. Winding it back here. 0 tank production. We do have a prioritization of stim, combat shields, building up that bio army, and we should be pushing with medevacs. Medevac production has begun, and once they pop out, then Spirit can break out. So this is going to be a 3-1-1 stim timing. Just waiting for those medevacs. And I want to say that SKillous should be okay as long as he doesn't skip warp-ins. We'll see. SKillous, he did scout the setup. Did scout earlier. Observer will spot the move out. And SKillous behind this. We need those warp-ins. And again, SKillous, he's aware of the army. He's aware of the push. SKillous does have his first Colossus. Here come the charge lots. And hey, this is going to work out well for him. I mentioned before that going for a really early charge would be more ideal if your opponent's being aggressive. And hey, Spirit, he's being aggressive. So, okay. The safe opener here is going to pay off. Spirit, he's moving out. He's got 2 domains behind this. He has stim, he has combat shields. Oh. SKillous pulling away. Yeah, he does pull away. Oh, but again, we do dive into the middle, or do dive into the natural. Shield battery goes down. The Marauders are tanking the Colossus. Marines, they trade well. They pick up the Zealots. Stimming on in. And they go for the pylon. They depower the Robo. So far, nice damage here by Spirit. He hasn't lost too much yet. Yeah, the Raven gets broken out. It drops further back into the main. So far, pretty efficient trades. So far, it's been efficient, and he's not done. Dropping into the 3rd. And just looking to pull SKillous apart. Pro's going to be going down. Widowmine's in between the bases. And SKillous, he can't quite keep up. Not like this. Oh, brutal mine shots. Yeah, brutal mine shots going off. SKillous, he defends the main. But again, a messy defense here. As Spirit, he is overwhelming. Takes down 11 probes. 11 workers go down. Zealots have a hard time engaging. Again, just better positioning here from Spirit. Takes on every single Zealot. Oh my god. Does pull away. Does pull away. Does pull back. Drop into the main. Oh, once again, it's deflected. Army's in position. And SKillous, he will hold. He will hold on, but behind the Spirit is expanding. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? He's not done. Okay, good. As the dust settles, we have killed 17 Zealots, 11 probes. Really, that's it. He didn't really kill too many gas workers or gas units. But again, didn't lose much either. Here, bleeding out 4 Marines, 6 Marauders. And with this, Spirit, he does have that economic lead, that economic edge. He's up in workers, he's up in supply. Again, just really efficient fights out of Spirit, and I just loved his movement here as well. Like, it was really cool to see him tank the Colossus shots with Marauders and move in with the Marines to get into the base, delay the production. Really nice movements, really nice positioning from Spirit. And SKillous had an awkward defense. It was very awkward. Now Spirit is popping up. He's popping up. Ghosts are amassing. Vikings on the way as well. Spirit looking very comfortable here. And the pressure is going to be on SKillous here to recover. Now, it's not impossible. He can go for Zealot run-bys. Zealot drop with the Warp Prism. He can be active with the Blink Stalkers and maybe catch some Medivacs, catch some drop play. There are ways to recover, but he, in a way, almost has to rely on Spirit making mistakes as well. Spirit, he has to play it safe, and he's about to max. He will soon max out, then he can push. Can push. Spirit, he's just building up his forces, amassing on more ghosts. He's got his EMPs ready. How many Vikings? 7. 7 Vikings, 4 Spirit. How many Widow Mines? 4. Not too many, but the Viking count is solid. Second Starport on the way for more Vikings. We go Prism into the main. But it might be too late. The Prism is on the way. There's so far one Nova. Nova goes off. Grazes the army. The anti-missile goes off. A massive connection. The army gets dusted. And Spirit is pushing in. Takes down the Colossus one after the other. There's no saving them. Does pull away. At the same time, Prism into the main, going for the warp in. But the base does fall. Spirit, he takes down the 4th. Meanwhile, Zealots has no additional warp in. Spirit, he will defend. It takes down the Prism. Actually dropping into the main. From here, it drops into the main base. Pushing in between. Another missile turret. Sorry, another anti-arm missile. God damn, every time. Gets a Colossus. And Colossus goes down. There's 2 Novas left. Oh! Doesn't quite connect. And SKillous is just being torn apart. He's just being pulled apart here. Disruptor falls. And SKillous just doesn't really have much left. There's not really much left over. Losing out on all the Zealots. More reinforcements coming in. SKillous, he's holding. Does hold on, but behind this, again, Spirit, he's on 4 bases. So 4 bases, he has more efficient mining. He's still rallying across the map. And SKillous, he has been struggling ever since the initial defense, the attempted defense. Just traded far too poorly. And Vikings, they land over the Disruptors. We have the Concave coming in, almost a full seat 360 surround. Spirit, he collapses on the army, and SKillous, he crumbles. He has almost nothing left. He's down to a handful of Zealots, a handful of Stalkers. Spirit, he has enough. And GG gets called. Yeah, SKillous, he has nothing remaining here. And Spirit, he will tie up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. Oh my god, we're going all the way to game 5. Again, Spirit with something that did catch SKillous off guard, going for really fast stim, really early bioproduction. Didn't make a single tank. The factory was only reactoring out Widow Mines. Only reactoring out Widow Mines there. And like just hyperfixated on that mass Marine Marauder army, and with that he was just able to overwhelm. Again, just had really nice positioning against the army of SKillous. You could also argue that the SimCity of SKillous was working against him. Like with a Zealot heavy composition, he had a really hard time pushing in between his gateways, his robo, his pylons. Like the SimCity was definitely working against the defending Protoss, as he was heavily reliant on those Zealots. And with that GG, well played. With that Spirit, he was able to tear him apart and snowball from there. Was looking very solid there in that follow-up, of course, not losing too much at all to the Warp Prism. And now we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 5. Let's go. we go. Just catching up in the chat. Everyone knows Cyril versus Rainer is today. Tomorrow. We're wrapping up. I believe the mainstream, they just wrapped up with Cyril versus Goblin. So I do apologize. We were hoping that we could maybe catch the tail end of Cyril versus Goblin, but I mean, to be fair, we've had a banger of a series here, very back and forth, all the way to game 5. So we know what we want. I mean, in general, I think we've been quite fortunate today. I mean, there were definitely matchups that we were looking at and looking to follow, but Goblin versus Hero Marine, even here, Spirit versus SKillous, like very fortunate with the matches that we found ourselves in. Nothing but ace matches. We know what we want. So really intense matchups. Don't call a Fort Jimmy build a ladder build. He's been Cure after all. Cap. I mean, I mentioned that we've seen that opener from Hero. Like Hero's done it against Cure. Like there's as I was saying before, there's rationale, there's reasoning, there's an ideal against what that's up against. Here we go. As here we go, we have our ace match. It looks like the mainstream is going to be joining us. Looks like they wrapped up with Cyril versus Goblin, and they're going to be joining us here for the ace match of SKillous and Spirit. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. Here Marine versus Strange 3-1, and Laser versus Christiana 3-2. Went to the ace match. Let's go. Next up, Gabe versus Laser. That's also going to be played tomorrow. This is the final series. So it looks like the rest of lower bracket round 2 has concluded. So thank you for the updates in the chat. So Gabe advances on over Strange, and Laser barely advances on over Christiana, which means that this is the final series of the broadcast, the final series of today's tournament. Again, for those that are curious, if you look at the bracket, yes, there are more matches to go, but that's tomorrow. The rest of the tournament, the rest of the bracket is going to be played out tomorrow instead. We have cut this broadcast in half, or cut the brackets in half. So that will be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. Less than 24. In 20 hours time, actually. So in 20 hours time, we'll be live once again to conclude this bracket and to determine the top 2 players to make it out of the European qualifier into the Esports World Cup. So 20 hours time. Set your alarms, mark your calendars. We'll be all over it. We'll be there. The stream has the best games again. Yeah, we know what to pick. We get a little bit fortunate. For those who are curious when it comes to what games we are able to jump on, basically every one of these qualifier days, I hold my breath and I'm like, yo, let's hope the mainstream don't pick the good series. let's hope they don't pick the good series. And of course, the mainstream, they have priority. They pick what they want first, and then we get what's left over. So we hold our breath, and we're like, are they going to leave us series? For those that are curious, we got lucky this morning as well with the Americas qualifier. We were able to cast Scarlet versus Kelazur, and it was a banger. It was so good. Went all the way to the ace match as well. If you missed it, I recommend the VODs. Scarlet versus Diego, and the Champ series as well. Like really intense, really back and forth. You can drop the link from the bot command. Oh, okay. I'll drop it. There we go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Torches, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself, representing Team Liquid, who being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is SKillous. And spawning in at the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, the Polish Terran, representing ROC Esports, bringing us back, bringing us to the ace match. It is Spirit. Here we go. As once again, 3 games in a row, Spirit, he has gone for the block. eBay has been thrown down, looking to disrupt the opener of SKillous. We go. Sparkling Protoss Cup. True. All the Protoss. Hey, look, Eva doesn't help with that, okay? Half the time, no, majority of the time Eva plays an STC, plays Protoss, okay? Eva is a part of the problem. Este Eva. But here we go. We've made it all the way to the ace match as SKillous. Again, this was a later scout of the eBay, and this is the ideal. We've seen Spirit go for this 3 games in a row now, and if you fail to scout this in time, bam, forced to expand elsewhere. So suddenly, SKillous is stuck he's in a bit of an awkward position. That's probably the best way to put it here, where he has to defend both his main and now his natural at the unnatural location, at the third base location instead. And this can be abused. We can go into like reactored Hellion production, go for mass Hellion and threaten the middle line for either base. You can rotate back and forth. Like it is just going to be an awkward defense here for SKillous. Doesn't mean he's going to be punished, but he can be. Very often in this kind of position, we do see Protoss players respond with a Stargate opener. The reasoning for this is that Oracles, defensively, they have an easier time rotating back and forth between the third and between the main location, just because they don't have to worry about the ground terrain to slow them down. So we often do see Stargate openers as a response, but we'll keep an eye on SKillous as he goes for the Twilight Council. Okay, Twilight Council opener out of our Protoss. Scarlet vs. Killer was a 2-hour long series. It was. it was a banger, and that's part of why the Americas qualifier was like twice the length of this qualifier. Twice the length. Which again, it makes sense. Because the Americas qualifier was only 1 day instead of 2, so it was twice the length. It's big. Once again charged every game, Jesus, except for game 1. For the past 4 games in a row, SKillous opening up charge. Meanwhile, Spirit back across the map, 3 CC, 3 racks, very greedy build on torches of all. He's crazy. Oh my god. I apologize for not noticing this earlier, but this is the build that we saw on, was it on Tokamak? We've seen this once before already in this matchup. I believe it wasn't Tokamak, but yes, we're going for a very greedy build here. That might not have been actually, but one of the previous maps. Basically, we are going to be skipping any kind of tank production. We're going to be delaying the factory, of course, going into mass marine, mass stim, into Widowmine with a very fast 3rd TC and a boosted economy coming into the mid game. Now, SKillous, he will scout this, he will confirm this, but we've been in this kind of situation before where SKillous opening up charge can't really punish this. It's going to be difficult, I should say. You can do so with Blink Stalkers, of course. You can try to poke in and try to pull apart the attention of your opponents and contain them and try to punish the greed, but with charge it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So on the one hand, I do like this decision here by Spirit as he does delay the factory, but something that's going to be a little bit awkward here is being greedy on torches sounds crazy. Welcome to one of the most vetoed maps of the map pool. I say one of, Last Fantasy is the most vetoed map, but torches is not too far behind it. It is very aggressive, it is a smaller map, short rush distance by air, short rush distance by ground. The bases are more exposed, like this is the potential third, like this. It's out in the open, like it's so accessible to try to break down this third base. Otherwise you can expand towards your opponent, which is also a lot more accessible as well. Especially once the tumors expire. These tumors, they expire at like 5:57 or something, just before 8 minutes. So we'll see if Spirit can get away with the greed. Meanwhile, SKillous pushing out early on, but the bunker is done. Yeah, the bunker is complete. Does get 1, does get 2 SCVs. As Spirit, we've seen this before, going for the Marine run by. And it wasn't on Tokamak, it was on one of the other maps. Este Iba. As Spirit, he's ready for a run by, essentially. He's ready for a waddle by to stim in. Of course, waiting for Sim to complete. And waiting for an opening. SKillous is building up towards Colossus. Securing his 3-base setup. And securing himself. Likewise, here comes a third. Spirit going for the triangular third base. As SKillous is going into the main. I do like this. I do feel like there's a little pressure on SKillous to get some economic damage done. So he does head into the main. This time a little more active, a little more aggressive. Gets one, gets 2 SCVs, delays some of the production. Nothing major, but damage is being done. Oh, pivoting back around. Going for the Marines, and he will get them. It takes down barely 3 Marines. Nice trades here from SKillous. And again, I do appreciate that he's a little more active when it comes to trying to find some damage. More so than the previous games with this opener. And again, he has to be. Behind this 4th base all the way for SKillous. Getting into Blink. Extend the Lance. Colossus. So the wrong was spotted. Yeah. SKillous, he's aware. He's aware of the Marines. As Prism gets thrown away, Spirit threatening a drop into the main. For the most part, SKillous is in position. The army's at the natural. Does drop in. Does drop into the bases. Has to pull away. And we're still just building up. I mean, again, Spirit, he is now able to embrace this third. Remember, this is a much faster third base than normal in a TVP. So with that, Spirit, he has that boosted economy. Did bleed out a couple of SCVs. And SKillous, he is pushing. Can he break that third? Now forcing him back. The tumors have expired. They have expired. The map is opening up, becoming more accessible, and you can also see just how open this area is as well. SKillous still gearing up. Oh, he's looking after his boy. Tops up the Zealot. There is that healing pad, which might factor into this game. We'll see. Likewise, SKillous taking another expansion. We're waiting for Spirit to start moving out. He's just securing his third for the time being. SKillous being greedy behind this, double expanding. There are these gold bases in the center as well. Typically, the Terran would expand forward towards the gold and towards their opponent. We'll see if that's the case. And Prism slipping in. Ooh, and Spirit, he doesn't notice. Now he reacts. Vikings are ready. And the Prism is going to be shut down. There's no saving this. Zealots, they get 1 SCV. They get 2. They get a handful of SCVs. Nothing major. More important that the Prism went down. Drop gets found. And here comes the main push. But he's up against 3 Colossus. And 1 Disruptor. Sorry, 2. 2 Novas are ready. So both armies are maxing out. We're getting there. And we'll come down to this fight. The other dangerous thing about this area and this map, as you can see here, is that if SKillous loses this fight, the natural's exposed, right? Like this gives direct access to the natural and to the main. So this is a crucial location here for SKillous. They cannot back down. Drop into the main. SKillous, he peels off a couple of gateway units. Second starport's on the way for additional Vikings. There he goes off. That's a mine. Oh, up! Not a bad connection. Does graze the army. And Widow mines are going to be cleaned up. They're abandoned. Nice cleanup here from SKillous. Claiming the gold. Spirit taking his fourth on the low ground. I'm still just taking this a little bit slower here. There's been a lot of posturing, there's been a lot of poking, but there's been no big committed fight. Not yet. And what I'm concerned by is that SKillous' bases so far are uncontested. Like, SKillous has been freely expanding. And Spirit has mainly been active here on the right-hand side. Now moving in. SKillous attempting to surround. You're never going up. No imagination. Vikings, they shut down the Colossus. Oh! Yeah, nice dodge. Spirit does pull away, takes out 2 Colossi. There's 1 Colossus left. 1 Colossus remaining. That's still a lot of Novas, though. Spirit being zoned away. Again, can he avoid those Novas? So far, so good. Does him forward, does zone back Spirit. Sorry, SKillous even. Does zone him back. SKillous, he has to back off, has to pull away, setting up a proxy. Scan does reveal the bases. Spirit now aware. Again, that was a tense moment. No major engage, outside of the fact that SKillous did lose all the Colossus. There's 1 left. 1 Colossus remaining. So it's not going to be too much of a factor in the next fight. It's mainly about the Disruptors, and of course the Gateway Army. Likewise, we'll see how solid the EMPs are going to be from Spirit. Prism once again moving out towards the natural. SKillous rotating over towards the third. Spirit trying to keep up. SKillous is going for it. Spirit out of position. Yeah, he's out of position. The bunker is going to go down. Takes down the bunker. Spirit trying to respond. Nova on the ramp. Novas, they pop up. He gets 1. Ooh, the Novas do connect. Yeah, Ghosts are going down. Takes down the Colossus. Vikings have to land. And Spirit, does he have enough? We commit to the fight. Still Zealots left over. Takes down every single Disruptor. Disruptors all go down. And now just the Gateway Army. And Spirit, he stims in. He stims on forward. And he will clean this up. Yeah, takes down all the Stalkers, takes down all the Zealots. What about the SCVs? Oh my god! Yeah, the SCVs are falling. The Zealots, they pop off. The middle line goes down. 42 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Spirit, he does survive the main fight, but the Zealots, they break the natural. They break the third as well. 43 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. And that's what matters. That's what matters here. Again, Spirit, he handled himself well when it came to that main engagement. But now he's down to 28 SCVs. Not like this. Not like this. And unfortunately, he just wasn't able to shut down the Prism in time. Wasn't able to deny the warp in. And Spirit, he's still up in army supply, by the way. He still has a massive army. But he's got to make use of it. He's got to go. Like, at this point, like, backing up and making SCVs, like, that's not going to work out well here for Spirit. SKillous is remaxing. SKillous, he has a booming economy. 75 probes. SKillous, he's already maxed. He's already remaxed. And speaking of the MVPs of this game, the Zealots, they're going in. They're going in once again. Zealot run by into the third. Spirit distracted at the same time. More Zealots coming. There's just so many Zealots. Oh my god. The Zealots are popping up. But now they're deflected. Spirit, he's holding. Okay. He's holding on. Spirit, he's slowly remaxing now. Because Spirit is on such a low worker count, his army is actually getting quite large. It's getting even larger, I should say. Now making Liberators. Getting into some freedom. Going for the gold as well. And with the help of mules, he doesn't need as heavy of a worker count. So Spirit, he's still in this game. He has no bank, which is concerning, right? Like SKillous, he has 2,000 minerals in the bank. Spirit, he can't afford to take some bad fights. Oh god, how many Zealots? 29. 29! Stalkers, they blinked forward, actually. Yeah, rough start there for SKillous. The Stalkers tanked for the Zealots. Nova's going up. No major connection yet. Yeah, does Kai back well. And Spirit, he will take this fight. Again, that was an awkward fight for SKillous. He blinked ahead of the charge lots. And with that, he lost, how many? He lost 12 Stalkers. Then the Zealots. So, a bit of a messy engage there from SKillous. Like, don't pull the patience. Like, calm down with your blinks. Calm down. SKillous does pull back. More Zealots on the way. SKillous pushing in, collapsing on the main army. Does that on the Liberators. Gets both. Both Liberators go down. SKillous does pull away. Again, he can still afford these trades. Like poking in, pulling back, resetting that Liberator count. But Spirit, he's still holding his own. Against Spirit, he has been taking some better fights since then. I think in general, actually, like the main fights have been going the way of Spirit. And hey, he's got the gold. Gold base is up and running. Spirit, he's supply blocked. Ooh. Once again, blinks forward. That's dozen eye mining. More Zealot Ramites coming in. Does move in. Ooh, brutal mine connections. That's going to be another 11 SCVs. 11 more workers going down. Spirit, he's being spread thin. Trying to hold on. Liberation has arrived. He's got a solid lib count now. Oh, but the low ground is exposed. Novas, they go up. Bit of friendly fire. But the planetary goes down. Yeah, Spirit who lose another expansion. 24 more SCV kills. How many workers have we lost this game? How many? 86! Oh my god. Thankfully, not quite 100. Not quite. As we see Spirit forcing Skills to engage into him. Does pull back around. The Liberators are exposed. Getting both. Yeah, takes on both Liberators. Defends the base. Defends the expansion. And Spirit, he's just running out of steam. He's running out of resources. Down to 40 SCVs. Doesn't really have much mining going on. As the armies, they pass by each other. We have a pseudo base trade. As the third base is going to go down. At the same time, Spirit just going straight for the kill. Does he go straight for the main? Do we just keep going? What's the plan? Yeah, we're boosting in. We're boosting into the main base. We're going for the base trade. There's the best chance here for Spirit. And because of this, if he can shut down all the production, even though SKillous has a bank, he might not be able to make use of it. Liberators are popping up. There's still a lot of bases. And of course, Spirit, he can lift. He can lift and go for the Great Migration. And hopefully he can escape with some buildings. As the production's all going down, SKillous has to rebuild his gateways. There we go, going into mass Stargate. Interesting. Stargates are on the way. I mean, that's a way to hunt down the floating buildings to make sure there is no draw. Just in case. And GG gets called. Yeah, SKillous, he just has far too much to work with. Too many bases, too much economy. And SKillous, he will take the series 3-2, advancing on into the next round and eliminating Spirit from the tournament. GG. GG, well played. SKillous, he will claim the series again. The base trade was maybe the best chance that Spirit had in that kind of game state, but he just did not have enough to keep going. There just weren't that many bases to trade, essentially. As Spirit, he only had a couple of CCs, and they would be just being knocked down time and time again. And with that, congratulations, SKillous, who will advance on, and Spirit, he's out of the qualifier. From here is going to be out of the qualifier. Whew. And congratulations here again. A very intense back and forth, very intense, very back and forth. This could have gone either way. Again, we don't often see games on torches, and you can see how awkward it can be when it comes to some of the base locations. You saw how exposed that low ground planetary was for Spirit, for example. Likewise, he was also expanding towards his opponent, so there was like very little room to work with. Unfortunately, a lot of this game did come down to that run by. It came down to, I say run by, it was a war prism. If you remember, when SKillous was pushing in towards the triangular third base, he had a prism coming into the natural, massive zealot warp in, and what was it like? It was like what, 48? Over 40 SCVs went down. It was crazy damage, just over 40 workers going down. Again, Spirit, he was having better main fights, better main army engagements, but he was distracted. His attention wasn't quite there. He was not able to preserve those workers and preserve that mineral line. And that was almost game then and there. I say almost game because Spirit, he had some, again, nice moments after that when he was out trading SKillous at times and able to take some better fights. But overall, the economy was lacking. Overall, like, he just couldn't really maintain himself. GG, well played with that. Congratulations, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on, where we're headed, and what's going to be happening tomorrow. As a reminder, that is going to be the final series of this qualifier. We were not just casting alone, we were casting with the mainstream to join us. Let's zoom out there. Let's zoom out. There we go. So here we go. So tomorrow on the mainstream, bam, it's going to be in 20 hours time, Serral versus Reynor. Serral versus Reynor, the two big Zerg players in the European region in the world, are going to be facing off in that ZVZ in the qualifying match. So one of those two will qualify for the Esports World Cup. One of them will make it through. Meanwhile, do not fret, because there is another spot. There's another qualifying spot. There's one from the upper bracket, there's one from the lower bracket, and of course all these remaining players will be fighting for that spot. Here we have them. We have a Goblin, Lambo, Showtime, a Laser, Big Gabe, Hero Marine, and SKillous. SKillous is the final player to join these top players. Let's go. The top 8. To join the top 8 here when it comes to this lower bracket. So there we go. So we have our remaining players here. My condolences to all those that have fallen by the wayside. My condolences to Cristiano. He went to the Ace. Damn. My condolences to Cristiano, to Young Yakov, to Wayne, Strange, Spirit, Geralt, Arrowfire, and Mana. All amazing players in their own right. But alas, not quite able to make it through. Shout out to like some stand-up performances. Goblin, if you missed out on the earlier matches, Goblin, he was insane in PvT. He was crazy. He 3-0'd Spirit, and he took down Hero Marine 3-2 as well. And again, this shows just how impressive that series was, considering that Spirit took SKillous to the ace match, and Goblin took him down 3-0. Like, again, Goblin has been on fire, specifically in PvT. Here against Serral was the heavy favorite, and Goblin unfortunately had a harder time there. I can't really speak on that match too much because we didn't get to see it. Here on the channel, we were busy covering other matches, so I don't really know what happened there, but I mean, it is safe to say that potentially Goblin's best matchup is PvT. That's where he can thrive in the most. And unfortunately, he will not have the potential, I mean, there might be a potential rematch against Gabe, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how things turn out. Well, best of luck. Best of luck for Goblin and the other top players. Best of luck, as that'll be taking place again tomorrow in 20 hours time. When it comes to us, we're going to be here, of course, to broadcast it as well. We'll see which matches happen at once. I think when the mainstream is covering the upper match, we'll probably cover either Lambo versus SKillous or Gabe versus a Laser. We'll pick one of the two. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What's being casted first, and who's on what, and who is where. So you'll be able to figure that out. Otherwise, we do have more than just the European qualifier. We have so much more than that. Bam! Look at our schedule, as we can catch up on our schedule. So we just again, it's a very busy schedule here, as we have been casting non-stop StarCraft for the past week, as we always do on the CranKy Ducklings. But we do have the Sunday broadcast wrapping up. Sunday morning, we just wrapped up. Now we're getting to Sunday. Our next broadcast is at 1 p.m. KST. That's going to be 2 p.m. AEST. That is going to be in 8 hours. 8 hours time. We're going to be live with the May Mayhem. If you're curious, what is the May Mayhem? That is an online tournament that has been happening throughout the entirety of May, featuring 6 players, 3 Koreans and 3 Europeans, featuring Clem, Showtime, Max Pax, alongside Shin, Hero, and Cure. Actually, you know what? I'll show it off right now. May as well. Oh, see what I did there? May as well. To apologize. God. Hold on. Okay. So if you missed out, here we go. Let's catch up. This is the May Mayhem. So we did throughout the course of the month of May, before DreamHack Dallas, we conducted the group stage, and we had, again, this is round robin group stage. We had so many matches. If you missed out, I recommend the VODs. We casted all of this on our channel. Every single match was casted here on the channel, as we're always casting, and throughout the course of this group. Cure had a harder time, Shin as well. We have our top 4. We have Clem, Showtime, Hero, and Max Pax. They made it through the group stage, and again, in 8 hours time, we're going to be live with the playoffs. Here we go. We have Clem, Showtime, Hero, and Max Pax. So we're going to be covering this tournament again later on. That is going to be our next broadcast in 8 hours. So I'm going to try to get as much sleep as I can to wake up in time for the May Mayhem for this tournament. Then after this tournament, after the May Mayhem, and again, shout out to Kabi Ray, and shout out to the other organizers of the event for hosting this tournament. 500 USD for first place, so not too shabby whatsoever. Also a prize pool here for our players. Again, that's going to be in 8 hours time. Likewise, after that, you can see here on our schedule we have the Korean qualifier. That is going to be the Korean closed qualifier. That's going to be at 6 p.m. KST. Is going to be an intense qualifier. Again, we already covered the open qualifier earlier today, so that's going to be the closed qualifier. That's going to be, actually, I haven't seen the seeding. Let's have a look together. Let's have a look together here. Hold on. I actually don't know what the matchups are for the Korean qualifier. And it's right. Oh, gee, that's a lot of TvT. Let's go. So let's have a look together here. This is going to be in how many hours? It's going to be in 12 hours. So 12 hours from now, which will be, again, oh, it's around just under 13 hours from now, we're going to be live with this tournament. So again, basically right after we finish the May Mayhem, bam, we jump into the Korean qualifier, and this is our Korean closed qualifier. This is a one-day event, not 2 days. Europe, they have the luxury of cutting the broadcast in half. Here, it's all done on one day. We have Byun versus Ryung, we have Rogue versus Zaun, we have Gumiho versus Bunny, and we have Creator versus Cure. Oh boy, once again, double elimination. Once again, 2 players do make it through. Which 2 players, we'll find out tomorrow, again, in 13 hours. In 13 hours time. Now, just like this broadcast, there's going to be the mainstream. I believe the mainstream is going to be covered by State and Pig. I think State and Pig, I think they handle the mainstream. So they're going to be picking the first round. I'll be honest, if it's State and Pig, they're probably going to cover Rogue versus Down. They're probably going to cover Rogue versus Down, which is perfectly fine. The other matches are tempting. Personally, I do enjoy me a TvT, don't get me wrong, but I also know that mirror matchups are not seen too fondly by the main audience. So we're most likely going to be going for Cure versus Creator. We're probably going to go Cure versus Creator into our next matchup. Again, there's a lot of tearing here, but yeah, we're probably going to go for Cure versus Creator and follow them into the upper bracket semifinals. That'll most likely be what's happening here on this channel, assuming that Pig and State go for Rogue and Down, which they most likely will. They'll most likely go for that series. So again, we're going to be the 2 streamers covering this event, and just like today, we're going to be avoiding the mainstream that have everything covered. The difference though is that tomorrow's tournament is going to be much longer, because we're going to cast everything. Like there's no cutting it in half, so there's going to be so much StarCraft. And the last 2 closed qualifiers that we had, the Asia closed qualifier and the Americas closed qualifier, they were both like 8 hours, like really long broadcasts, like 7 to 8 hours. So this is probably going to be the same. It's most likely going to be the same, and then this leads into the European qualifier. So back to back, May Mayhem into the Korean closed qualifier, into the European qualifier. Hopefully I'm able to sleep a little bit in between this cast and the European cast. Hopefully I get like a couple of hours sleep, fingers crossed. Otherwise we're just gonna power through, as we do, baby, as we do. We'll just power through. So busy day tomorrow, or I guess busy day today, because technically it's all today, as it is 6 a.m. here in Australia. For those who don't know as well, for those who are tuning in for the first time, we're here in Australia. Australia, baby, Australia. See you in 8 hours. Exactly. Ooh. Golden was taking turn names. He was. Crazy. Just catching up in the chat. Catching up. It was hectic. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we have 3 more broadcasts tomorrow, and then we get into our regular weekly schedule of the Wardy TV Monday. Actually, let's have a look at the calendar of like Wardy TV Monday. Right, Stars Agora is next week. We have Stars Agora. We're gonna be covering GSL. Right, we have the replays, so we're gonna be doing a GSL cast on Tuesday. We have Stars Agora. We have the Wardy TV Monday. We have Pig Store Cup. We have the Latin American League, StarCraft Evolution League, Kung Fu Cup, MSO. plenty of content. As always, again, we are live on a daily basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. We're live every single day, multiple times a day. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. We have the quantity and we have a little bit of the quality as well. And if you want to follow us, then check us out on all the socials: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, TikTok, Kick, Blue Sky, Mastodon, all things CranKy Ducklings. We're all over the place, so follow us on your preferred platform of choice. And again, if you see something that you like here, and if you can't watch it live, and I don't blame you, okay, you don't have to be an animal like me who like sleeps in 2-hour intervals and does and casts everything. You don't have to watch everything. But if you see something that you like here, and if you can't watch it live, VODs, YouTube, check us out on YouTube. Again, we are live on YouTube as well. We're streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube, so all the content's on YouTube. You can see it all there. All the VODs are available under the live tab or under the video tab, as we do upload on a daily basis as well. There's plenty of content on YouTube, so you can check it out there. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Best of luck to all the other competitors here in the rest of the qualifiers. And also, you can support us via Patreon, exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our regular tournaments. For those who don't know, we host our own weekly open cups and even MMR restricted tournaments as well. Bam. You can see them here. We have Sea Duckling Open, Master Swan Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. We do host these events on a regular basis. As you can see in our schedule, this week we're not hosting any because of EWC. Like, EWC is just so oppressive. Like we can't run our tournaments, not with this kind of schedule. So our tournaments are on a week break, but they will be coming back, and of course we'll be hosting them here on the channel. And it's thanks to all the support that we get on Patreon that we're able to host them as well on a regular basis. So thank you so much to all our patrons. And again, 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards the players. It all goes towards the players. It all goes towards tournament prize pools. So thank you so much for the support. Otherwise, with that, we are going to be wrapping up, and we'll see you guys in 8 hours time for some more StarCraft. I'm going to go get some breakfast. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to pass out. I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow at some point, because we're live all day. We're live all day. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao. Bye. Ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Take care.